So your plants survived the winter, but are they going to survive the hot summer that is about to come? Hello everybody, my name is Alina, welcome me lovers, and today I'm going to tell you some summer prep maintenance tips that you're going to want to do for your houseplants for the upcoming hot summer. And we know it's going to be a hot one. They're only going to get hotter and they're only going to get drier. So we're going to talk about some issues that you may face during the summer, how you can fix them and what to look out for. The first thing we're going to talk about is plants that may become a little bit more sensitive to light. In particular, I'm going to point out variegated plants. During the hot summer and the longer, brighter days, we really want to be monitoring our variegated plants. If they are in direct light too much, the white from the variegation on the plant will start to burn and crisp. This plant is usually sat behind me on this table, and it is next to a south-facing window and gets direct light probably for the end part of the day. Due to where I live, there are houses blocking the sun for other times of the day. So far it has seemed to be okay in this kind of light conditions. It actually seems to be thriving. It's just recently put out this ginormous beautiful leaf, but I will closely monitor this plant because there is a lot of white on this plant. It is more susceptible to burning. So I'm going to keep an eye out for brown crispy edges and shrinkage of the leaf, and that will tell me then if this plant is getting too much light. It's not just variegated plants that may do this. Other light sensitive plants could also do this. In preparation for summer, we're going to want to keep an eye on our plants that are next or near to windows. If they get too much sun, they will show signs of this. And if we are seeing this, to move the plant just that little bit further away from the window so it doesn't completely burn. A big difference compared to winter care and summer care is the watering. In winter, we cut this down dramatically. If your house is in a lot of sun and it is really warm, your plants are going to dry out so quickly. For example, I have this sad little plant here. This is a pennywort. They're very dramatic in when showing that they need a water. If I give this guy a little drink now, in about a couple of hours time, it will perk right back up. So being very vigilant is key for this time of the year. It is good to note that small plants in small pots will tend to dry out a lot quicker than your bigger plants. This is because there's a lot less soil to keep in that water, and therefore will just evaporate quicker and dry out a lot quicker too. So when watering, always check your baby plants first because they're probably the ones who are desperate the most for a watering. I'm going to quickly interject in this little segment of watering because a lot of people go on holiday during this time of the year, and I don't blame you at all. And if you're one of those, I hope you have a beautiful holiday. A little worry in the back of your head could be keeping up with watering or how your plants are going to survive through your holiday. And this tip is specially aimed at your baby plants just because they're the ones that are going to dry out the most compared to your bigger plants. When I'm talking baby plants, I'm talking about plants that are in this size of a pot to this size of a pot. Now, if you have any first year plants, so ignoring cacti and succulents, I would highly recommend getting yourself a tub or multiple tubs, putting your baby plants in this tub and filling this up with a good inch of water. Putting the lid on and just leaving them in a lovely semi-sunny spot where they'll still get a lot of sun. This will create a little ecosystem for them to keep hydrated, humid and moist. They will not dry out then during your holiday. I would say this kind of tip would work up to 3 weeks. If you're going longer than that, then it may be worth calling in a little plant sitter just to check in on your plants during your holiday. So in hindsight, if you water your big plants just before you go away on holiday, they'll be fine for at least 3 weeks. Again, if you're going longer than that, it is worth probably calling that little friend to come and just check on your plants for you. Just send you some photos of how they're doing and telling them if you think something looks amiss. So recapping on that quickly, as the summer comes along and the hot temperatures rises, your plants are going to dry out a lot quicker than usual, so your watering is going to become a lot more frequent. To add on to this, a good time to water your plants during the summer is either early in the morning or in the evening, and this is because when you water your plants, the roots semi-rise to the surface, and during the hottest part of the day, this is between 12 and 2 p.m, if you're watering at this time, the roots rise to the surface and could be susceptible to burning. We don't want to burn our plants, so it's really good to water them in the morning or the evening. Both watering times will give the plant that energy and that boost during the hot day to really grow and become a really nice big plant too. As the temperatures rise, the air might become a little bit more dry. A good way to make sure your plants are still getting all of the humidity that they need is by grouping all your plants together. I have a lot of my plants grouped together, as this boosts humidity in general. When they're all grouped together, they can share it. They're all sharing this kind of atmosphere and this ecosystem going on. Things are evaporating, going into the plants with each other, and they just work together a lot better when they're grouped together. Talking of high heat, a difference between winter and summer, we're not turning on our radiators, but we are going to be starting to open our windows. The problem with opening our windows is that pests are going to start creeping in and trying to get on our plants. The biggest cause of actually acquiring thrips is them by simply flying in through the windows. Same with aphids. As the temperatures rise, these pests are breeding in numbers. Because of this, we need to be extra vigilant with pest care, pest checking, and keeping up with pest deterrents. For me, that is having a constant supply of predatory mites, specifically for thrips, to keep thrips at bay. And touch wood, I haven't had thrips in 2 years now. I've had like the odd one, but I haven't had a huge outburst in about 2 years. But touch wood, I don't want to jinx that. This is because I have kept up with my monthly subscription of predatory mites throughout the year. Regardless if it's summer or winter, I keep having these predatory mites just to keep on top of this and prevent any thrip outbreaks. The other common pest I will see is aphids. A really good way of getting rid of aphids is taking your plant either outside or in your shower and hosing it down with a really strong hose. This will dislodge all of the aphids as well as giving your plants a water. If you want me to deep dive further into different pests, let me know down below and I will surely do that for you. As it is prime growing season from spring into summer, your plants are still continuously growing. Do check signs for repotting and repotting your plants, as this is a good time to do so. Doesn't mean you can't do it in winter, but it is a better time to do it now. Extra little summer tasks we could do is getting out a very clean microfiber cloth and giving your plants a good dust. A dusty plant can't photosynthesize, so we need to make sure they are clean and they can photosynthesize with all of this lovely bright sun that is coming to them. Any dead leaves that are very yellow and dropping off, we can trim this or trim overgrown plants into cuttings. If there is any plants that need a kind of refresh in soil, just refreshing the top of the soil rather than repotting the whole thing can help your plant continue to gather all of its nutrients that it needs. That is my summer top tips and preparation. What is your summer prep? Let me know down below. If you haven't watched my repotting video and you would like to learn more on what to do when repotting, you can check that out here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, me lovers. Bye. Jimmy.